Hello everyone, my name is Chad Ballantyne. I'd like to take this moment to discuss the project I've completed for my FCS 537 class at Jacksonville State University. I've done the nutritional assessment of an athlete. We've chosen the athlete, and I, in this case, have chosen one of my track and field athletes at the University of Montevallo. She is a senior, competes in Division II indoor and outdoor track and field. She is a thrower. In the indoor season, she competes in the weight throw as well as the shot put. And during the outdoor season, she switches to she competes still in the shot put, picks up the discus as well, hammer throw, and javelin. The training season runs from the beginning of September through May. That's with weights and everything, weights and practice. And the competition season runs from December, the 1st of December through May. April Lee is her name. April Lee, born September 11th, 1995, 22 years old, 5'7", weighs 205 pounds. BMI, we've tested her body mass index, comes to 32. In talking with her, her weight history consistent over the last 2 years. There's been really no change. She's been able to maintain her weight with very little fluctuations up and down. Her ethnicity is Hispanic. Her menstruation cycle stays consistent, normal. No issues there. From a disease diagnosis standpoint, there is none. She doesn't have any significant health issues, which is huge when it comes to optimal performance, and her dietary analysis that we've done. Medication-wise, she does take Zazol, which is an allergy medication. She takes 5 milligrams a day, very low dosage, so nothing too extreme. Does not take any supplements of any kind. So no kind of dietary supplements. Just gets her vitamins and minerals and calories from regular food intake, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. So what we've done is I've had her to do a detailed food record, where she went in and she documented everything that she's eat. We picked 2 weekdays and a weekend date for this. Additionally, she's logged her training for those days because she is in training season for track and field, so she was able to log those things. Across those 3 days, things include weights, plyometrics, cardio, and event-specific work, which might be throwing, working on technique, working on shot, working on any kind of spin or anything with a shot or discus, and hammer turns and things like that. So it can vary on those event-specific days, and it can be strenuous if she does it for long enough. It's definitely one of those things where it's not maybe as much impact as cardio or weights, but it can be very taxing when a lot of time is spent at practice on that particular day. So we did do skin fold measurements as well, and as we collected our data, at her bicep she measured 14 millimeters, tricep was 20 millimeters, and in the suprailiac area in the stomach, we were at 32 millimeters. In our analyzation and data evaluation, we did take the food record and transfer it into more of a dietary analysis, a lot more detailed, a lot of computations as far as math goes, putting a lot of things together. So we detailed out her total calories, protein, carbohydrates, dietary fiber, total fat, saturated fat, calcium, and iron. One thing that was also inputted was her fluid intake. In those particular 3 days, she only took in lemonade and water. There was a substantial amount of water, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. Getting a little bit deeper, the dietary intake versus the energy expenditure with April. Her basal metabolic rate, or BMR, sets at 1758 after punching activity levels and figuring out the ratios there. We're at 1758. Her average, well, I did break out her actual 3-day average. to get an idea of where we are for the 3 days. And I would say that probably stands true for a whole week and so on, pretty close. Her average 3-day caloric intake is 2,063 calories, and her energy expenditure is 1,590, so 1,590. So pretty close. Not a whole lot. A little bit negative. We're not quite burning what we're taking in, but we're close. Her energy balance, to add on to that, is somewhat even. There is a little bit of a negative lean. She's not quite taking. She's not quite burning as much as she's taking in, but it's really close. Again, weight is consistent. Diet versus weight gain or loss. There's really there's no indication. There's no sign that shows that she would be gaining or losing weight with her diet right now. Like I say, it's pretty level. It could definitely be better. We'll discuss, but it's pretty good right now. Diet's the energy requirements for the sport. She does burn off most of what she is taking in. And another thing that I wanted to point out was, based on her access to healthy foods, being a college student athlete and living on campus and eating in the cafe a lot, she gets good food in the cafe, but also it's a matter of budget, maybe lack of budget, as well as access to healthy food sometimes. And then just really busy schedule. She's a senior in college. She's a leader on campus. She does a lot of things with she's leader of the SAC committee, or one of the leaders of the SAC committee. She organizes a lot of things, so she's really busy, besides also working and tutoring students and things such as that. So to go along with practice and sorority and just many things. So considering her busy schedule, she does really well with her overall diet. Her ideal diet, this is not her ideal diet. She actually agrees with that. She knows it and wants to change her diet. I will say that I want to point out again that her hydration status is really good. She does a very good job of consuming a whole lot of water throughout the day, and that's besides the water that she's consuming at practice, during training, during weights in the morning times and things. So she documented all of her water intake during snack time, like when she's snacking or sitting in class and those kinds of things. So that, coupled with what I know she's getting at practice, is definitely is a good sign. She's doing a great job with water, with intaking a lot of water. I do have some recommendations, although they're not very detailed. There's not a lot of recommendations for her on her diet change, but I would say that smaller meals throughout the day, with kind of coupled better with her training. She does a good job, but it could definitely always be a little better with spreading smaller meals throughout the day, in relation to her schedule. I would suggest increasing fruits and vegetables, decreasing some of the processed foods, and fatty foods. I like to give people positive things coming from their assessment as well. And with her, she does have a significant daily water intake, and of course frequent exercise that comes with training for a sport in college. So for track and field, she's definitely getting exercise. And so I just suggest that she maintains those things. And one thing to note, that the lack of having any medical issues or diseases is definitely a positive for her. So she doesn't take any medications necessarily that's going to give her any setbacks or make her training, lessen her training or lessen her diet, make things a little bit worse on her. So those are all positive things as well. Some of the measured outcomes. If I was going to monitor her over a longer period of time, some of the things that I would do for measured outcomes is I would have her to do a food journal, and compute a activity log as well, for an extended amount of time. We would meet bi-weekly to discuss those things, talk about the positives and the negatives of her diet, set goals, and talk about shortcomings of where we can get better, where maybe we can improve, where we can stay the same, kind of maintain things. And we'd set those goals for bi-weekly, as well as monthly, maybe a 6-month goal, just to have some stuff to go by. In closing, she definitely, again, there's always a little bit of room for improvement, but she does have a pretty solid diet for what she's putting out as far as training on a daily basis. She, 5 to 6 days of training with 2 to 3 days in the weight room is definitely, for her sport in college, is definitely kind of keeping her balanced out. But again, there's some minor changes, even though it is overall good. Maintaining the water, increasing fruits and vegetables, and decreasing some of the processed foods. And I think that she would be in continue to be in really good shape. She's very healthy. She's very outgoing, just always positive, very much a great asset to us, and great to have around. And so I know she's enjoyed doing this. She wants to. She said this has kind of opened her eyes, and she wants to kind of do better with her diet. So appreciate you watching. Thanks.